Creating a wildlife habitat in your garden is a wonderful way to support local biodiversity and enjoy the presence of birds, butterflies, insects, and other wildlife. Here are steps to help you transform your garden into a thriving wildlife habitat. 1. Provide food sources. Native plants. Plant a variety of native flowers, shrubs, and trees. Native plants are adapted to the local environment and provide food and habitat for native wildlife. Flowering plants. Choose plants that bloom at different times of the year to provide nectar for pollinators throughout the seasons. Examples include milkweed, coneflowers, and asters. Berry-producing shrubs and trees. Plant species that produce berries or nuts, such as elderberry, serviceberry, holly, and oak, to feed birds and small mammals. Seed-bearing plants. Allow some plants to go to seed, like sunflowers and grasses, to provide food for birds. 2. Create water sources. Bird baths. Install bird baths and keep them clean and filled with fresh water. Ponds. Create a small pond or water feature to attract amphibians, insects, and birds. Include plants and rocks to provide shelter and breeding sites. Drippers and misters. Use drippers and misters to create a consistent water source for birds and butterflies. 3. Offer shelter and nesting sites. Birdhouses. Install birdhouses to provide nesting sites for cavity nesting birds like bluebirds, wrens, and chickadees. Brush piles and log piles. Create brush piles and leave fallen logs to provide shelter for small mammals, reptiles, and insects. Dense shrubs and trees. Plant dense shrubs and evergreen trees to offer cover and nesting sites for birds and other wildlife. Insect hotels. Build or buy insect hotels to attract beneficial insects like bees, ladybugs, and lacewings. 4. Provide safe nesting and breeding areas. Leave leaf litter. Allow leaf litter to accumulate in certain areas to provide habitat for insects and ground nesting birds. Rock piles. Create rock piles to offer breeding sites for reptiles and amphibians. Avoid disturbance. Keep nesting and breeding areas undisturbed, especially during the breeding season. 5. Use sustainable gardening practices. Avoid pesticides and herbicides. Minimize or eliminate the use of chemicals that can harm wildlife. Opt for organic and natural pest control methods. Compost. Use compost to enrich the soil naturally, encouraging healthy plant growth and beneficial soil organisms. Mulch. Apply organic mulch to conserve moisture, improve soil health, and provide habitat for insects. 6. Enhance habitat diversity. Layered vegetation. Create layers of vegetation, ground cover, herbaceous plants, shrubs, and trees to offer different habitats for various species. Seasonal variety. Include plants that provide food and shelter throughout the year to support wildlife in every season. Deadwood. Leave some dead trees or branches as they provide habitat for insects, birds, and other wildlife. 7. Promote pollinator health. Pollinator-friendly plants. Choose a variety of plants that attract pollinators, such as bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds. Examples include lavender, bee balm, and butterfly bush. Continuous bloom. Ensure there are plants flowering throughout the growing season to provide a constant food source for pollinators. Avoid invasive species. Avoid planting invasive species that can outcompete native plants and reduce biodiversity. 8. Educate and engage. Signage. Use signs to educate visitors about the importance of wildlife habitats and the specific plants and features in your garden. Community involvement. Get involved with local conservation groups and encourage neighbors to create wildlife-friendly gardens to increase habitat corridors. 9. Monitor and maintain. Regular monitoring. Keep an eye on your garden to see which wildlife species are visiting and how the plants are doing. Adjust your garden plan as needed to better support wildlife. Maintenance. Regularly clean water sources, check birdhouses, and refresh mulch and compost to keep your habitat healthy and attractive to wildlife. By following these steps, you can create a welcoming habitat for wildlife, fostering a healthy ecosystem right in your backyard. Enjoy the beauty and benefits of a garden that supports and sustains local wildlife.